picked up my cold medicine, so you guys are just gonna have to forgive me for this one.
Turn on your computer and just vibe. And you know how we do, run by the students, so it's all about you. And send your requests, we will get them on for you, that's a bet. And keep you in the know, the information given throughout the show. Take time to listen, tell your friends. If they don't believe it, let them know again. Yeah. Catch the sensation, turn to the new #1 station. Yeah. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. Cause we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning. Playing all the hits, be able to listen to. Live from that fancy room. Shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 in the morning.
It's Wednesday afternoon.
I know you've been waiting a long time for this. Right. It's here NASA gonna testify. Amen. You're listening to a great ghost voice. It's here now, radio waves electrify. Hey Chris, turn me up, man. Let me rock out. It's 12 p.m. That means it's time for the RTVS and the interns. So look. I know you waited and contemplated and conversated on how this show is your favorite, and plus you obligated to only feel what's real coming out your devices. This show is too darn good, man, show me some license. The RayThomas Variety Show is what you hearing, with silly interns, a lot of commission, with talents gifted to be Pacific. Just take a listen, I bet you feel it before you hear it, is what you missing. The RayThomas Variety Show, it's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go. The RayThomas Variety Show, it's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go. The RayThomas Variety Show, it's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go. The RayThomas Variety Show, it's on your net, it's on your phone, it's everywhere that you go.
It's BronkRideRadio.com. It's the RTVS Live, where every second of the day an artist is live. We say B.O.B. Yep. And people always ask me, why do you say B.O.B.? Well, B.O.B. is my homeboy from Cambridge, Massachusetts. We grew up together. Went to high school, played ball together, and still to this day is a very good friend of mine. He's an industry guy, so he has a company entitled Artist Live Global Village. It's the name of his company, but he's the one that coined that phrase. So he gave us permission to use that phrase. So we've indoctrinated that phrase here at BronkRideRadio.com, because every second of the day, realistically, an artist is live. There's somebody's music is being played at every second of the day. So that's where we get that from. So
when can we get him on the show? We have to get
we can make that happen. We can make that happen, Tonia. Yeah, we can make that happen.
Let's do that.
It's too easy. I mean, it's too oozy. Did you no?
But he's had quite an incredible life. Plus his son is just doing awesome things in NCAA basketball. So it would be great to have him on.
Yes, Brandon Francis. Yeah. Well, he's no longer in college, Tonia. He's graduated. He's probably playing professionally overseas.
You know what? The last time I saw him, I think it was before the pandemic. So you're probably absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you're probably echoing. So if you're hearing Tonia echo, it's because I haven't muted my microphone. And that's one of the technical issues that we are working out here at the radio station as we communicate. Stop
talking.
Huh? Stop talking. No, you're good. So let me go ahead and do your introduction. But first, I'm going to pop off the screen right now because I'm going to bring on another one of the newly and freshly minted, the intern. There she is. Yes, indeed. Sherelle Anderson. I was going to say Alston. I don't know why Alston came to mind. But you are an Anderson, and it's coincidental that my good friend Jeff Anderson is actually on the show today. So, wow. So, hello, Sherelle.
Hi.
Let me turn on your microphone, Sherelle.
Hi, everybody. This is Sherelle Anderson, the intern.
See, that's your first ding. So that's your first ding, yeah, because that's not the proper watch. This is how it's done. So our most seasoned intern, you are
the intern, Ebony Lawson.
See, that's a kudo ding, girl. See that? See how she put the intern in front of that? Yeah, there you go. If people could only see my face on camera. But only your face is being seen right now. Yes, indeed. So you're going to learn today, girl.
I am.
So actually, Sherelle is shadowing today. Today's her first actual day being on radio and everything. So she's going to learn the inner workings of what we do here. And hopefully down the road, she will become our news director. Yes, indeed, for BroncoIRadio.com. So go on. She got big things in her minds that she wants to get done. All right. Yeah.
Welcome,
Sherelle.
Sherelle.
Thank you.
She's like, thank you. Was that like your operator voice?
I'm
Thank
working
you.
on it. I'm
Okay.
working on it.
Okay. All right. Don't be shy. You look nervous right about now. Didn't expect to be on camera and talking. Welcome to the real world. This is how it gets down. Got to put you in the fire.
Okay.
Is the fire hot?
Not really. It's warm a little bit.
Okay, so it's warm. Okay, it's going to get hotter. All right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, she is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning producer, director, writer. She's a documentarian. She's a filmmaker. She is a mother. She's a grandma. She's an aunt. She's a wife. She's a sister. And she's Tonia with the good light. Ladies and gentlemen, ToniaMagras. What's going on, T?
Hey, good afternoon,
everybody.
I am a little bit under the weather, but I'm excited to be here. And I just want to give a shout out to the intern, Ebony, and the intern, Kiara, who held it down for me last week. You ladies did a wonderful job. I really appreciate you. I was out filming in Detroit, and we will talk about that a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys your graces while you're here, as we say. So good job, ladies.
Well, thanks for giving them their graces. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. They're like, thank you. And you know that Sherelle is not Kiara, right? Because Kiara is probably in class.
I do know that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, but Kiara was on last week because I actually watched the show, which is why I'm able to give them such wonderful kudos.
Hey, Tonia, I sit corrected.
For me.
I sit corrected. Did you get that? I'm sitting down and
I did.
you corrected me? As
I did.
people usually say, I stand corrected, but I'm sitting down. Okay, so let's get on with the show, man. So you're going to do the introductions, Tonia, because this is man, I love this dude. And, you know, they always say give people their roses.
While they're still here.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I've had the privilege of watching this young man, you know, before he even got into radio. That's how far back we go. I remember when he was Uzi D, the rapper, the future rapper, or wanted to be recording artist. And he was doing his thing. And we had a chance meeting at Maurice Grady's studio that used to be on Robeson Street. I'm wondering if Jeff remembers this. And he was in there spitting. He and Maurice was doing some recording. And I'm like, man, have you ever thought about radio? You know, because it's easier for you to get your music played if you're actually at the radio station. And then, but he had a great voice. He had a good voice, you know. And then, you know, I don't know if it was a few months later or whatever, but next thing you know, this man is in radio doing his thing. And so, you know, but I'm just following and watching, and he's going to tell you his story because he has a great story. And so that's why I had to have him on the program. And also because he's an FSU alum as well. I needed our students to be able to see what an FSU degree will afford you if you put the time, the effort, and the sweat equity into working out whatever God has purposed for you. And this man, like I said, his story is just incredible. And I'm proud to call him brother. You know, I can say brethren as well because, you know, he has a Jamaican descent. Yes, indeed. So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, Tonia, go ahead and do the honors and introduce our special guest this afternoon.
Well, Jeff Anderson has over 25 years of radio and programming experience. He started his career at WSSU in 1995 and worked his way through positions and stations before becoming program director for Beasley Broadcasting's WZFX, Foxy 99, and for WUKS KISS 107.7 FM. In this role, Jeff increased ratings and created promotional concepts to include station imaging, massive event marketing, and website maintenance. Jeff's past awards include being nominated R&R Station of the Year from 2003 to 2006, nominations for R&R Program Director of the Year in 2004 and 2005, in 2006, and then in 2017, he was named Program Director of the Year for Beasley Broadcasting. Jeff, as Ray just mentioned, has a degree from Fayetteville State University in speech theater and communication, and has also completed training with the NAB Education Foundation's Broadcast Leadership Training Program. He is a trumpeter from Poughkeepsie, New York. And we talked about this before we started the radio station. But he found his way to North Carolina, and he's got big dreams, like huge. And one of them he's going to talk about today. Jeff, welcome to the show. Well, so, 25 years is a long time to spend in this industry, which I'm assuming you love because you just kind of wanted to take it to the next level. But just talk to me about how you fell in love with radio.
Able to also get a scholarship for playing the trumpet. It was a small scholarship that would have, allowed me to get to FAMU to be in the marching 100, because that was always a dream too, because I love marching band. I'm a band nerd, as they say. And unfortunately, I would not have been able to get on-campus housing because at the time they were full, and I couldn't afford to move off campus. So I ended up moving to North Carolina, where my dad was stationed in Fort Bragg, and saw that they had Fayetteville State University. I enrolled, and then, the journey began. So
that's
the
awesome.
journey began. Yeah.
And see, I
who
didn't
were
even know
some
the
of
trumpet
your
part.
early role models back when you
started
first
in
started
radio?
in radio?
I know Ray is like a giant in radio. He's probably worked anywhere up and down the East Coast. He's pretty much met everyone in radio. But talk about some of your earlier kind of role models or inspirations
in the radio field.
Yeah, being from New York, it was Hot 97 was the big station there. So even though I was upstate New York, I would frequent the city a lot. So I was listening to Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, listening to Wendy Williams, Angie Martinez, Funk Master Flex, names that are still in the industry today. But those are a lot of the people that I listened to and looked up to at the time. Bugsy, so there was, WBLS was also, one of the influences. But as I came up and started to really get into radio more, I would also listen to Rick Dees, Casey Kasem's, and just, prominent radio talent and television talent. So all of them were kind of like built a framework of radio and what I liked and who I liked to emulate, or at least saw that they were having success.
And talk about what you think has been one of the greatest changes in your industry from when you started 25 years ago. For me, just as a listener, I just feel like it's so much more talk and less music. Because back in the day, like, we could make our cassette tapes just recording off of the radio all day long and just pausing for the commercials. Sherelle and Ebony are way too young to understand that, but this is how we used to kind of entertain ourselves back in the day. But what do you think of some of the kind of profound changes in the radio industry that have taken place over the last 25 years?
Man, we've seen the evolution of radio from just the digital aspect of it, for one, and back in the day, I always say that radio was where everybody tuned into to get their news, their information, their weather, what was going on in fashion and culture. And it was the actual stop to where now today you have all these other media outlets, you have all these other digital facets that go along with it, where I always tell people that, you worked at a radio station at one point, but now we happen to be multimedia platform, people that are on multimedia platforms that happen to have radio stations as well. So the big change for that I've seen has been social media and the introduction of, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. And then just from a radio standpoint, from a listening standpoint, just the consolidation of radio. Just there's not as many, there's less people doing a lot more work these days. So, you just have a lot more pressure to be multifaceted and to learn a lot more because we've consolidated so much. It's really a dwindling field as far as the amount of people there, but the workload is just gotten bigger.
And one of the things that I think has also been kind of a big change, particularly up here in Massachusetts, is kind of the dwindling down of what I call black radio. So WILD was a staple in Massachusetts, kind of home in Roxbury, Massachusetts for decades. And it really was where all black radio kind of began and ended in Boston. So, but there really hasn't been a replacement. There's been a couple of tries, if you will, but, is that kind of because the markets are changing, the demographics are changing? What's happening with black radio, do you think, across the field, in your field?
What my biggest challenge, or what my biggest, I guess, how I've been more critical about black radio is that there just hasn't been enough equal opportunity for management. You have black stations, but then you have management or owners who don't represent that culture. So even though you might have a situation where we have managers within, the individual stations, I just think that there's just not enough balance with general managers and sales managers, particularly, females of color too, within our radio field. And a lot of our brands are targeting black women, pick a demo. However, there's just not enough representation, and I've seen that where, that's where I'm more critical about how black radio is kind of represented.
And you are trying to change that because you have great aspirations, and you're working right now to become a radio station owner yourself. So talk about how that process even works and what ownership entails.
Just the influence and the inspiration from a lot of the ones that I follow, Miss H, for instance, and the Hegwoods of the world, and there's a lot of other names out there. It's been a dream of mine for a long time to not only be a player in the game, but be an owner. I think it's important that we expand ownership, and that's one of the reasons why I was thankful to also be able to go to the BLT program, the Broadcast Leadership Training Program, where they target, or they specialize in trying to get more minorities and people of color owners in radio, and that's just been a pursuit. I'm excited to, hopefully, not hopefully, I will one day be an owner, and just have that opportunity to say, yeah, this is a station that I'm also given a chance to employ others and give people the shot that I was able to get.
We see how broadcast television is kind of taking a hit with streaming platforms like Netflix, like Hulu, and then now these other conglomerates that are coming out, Paramount, et cetera, all these streaming platforms. Are you concerned at all that the radio life form as it exists right now will soon be able, soon kind of like take a hit from all these streaming platforms? Because iHeartRadio, and then, of course, all the other streaming platforms like iTunes and Pandora and all these other kind of streaming platforms. Are you concerned that somehow what we know as traditional radio will go away at some point?
No, that's a good question. I'm not concerned about the traditional aspect of radio. I'm more concerned about the people that are in radio adapting to the change that is here. Because change is going to come no matter what. Without a Blockbuster, there wouldn't be a Netflix. But Netflix figured it out and Blockbuster didn't. So it's the people that are within the medium of radio that need to learn that we are multimedia platforms that happen to have radio stations. We are social media platforms that happen to also have a radio station. And if you don't learn the technology and if you don't grow with the technology, then we will become an extinct form. But no, I'm very confident that the actual tradition of radio itself, and it's still being a conduit for local content and people wanting to know what's going on specifically in your markets, because you have to be hyper focused on what's going on locally, because you can get gossip and news anywhere. But you also have to learn how to adapt to using the technology in order to get people to radio, in order for it to be something that will not be extinct as long as it's used in the right way. But I'm confident that it will continue as long as people grow with the technology that's here. I think it creates actually a bigger opportunity. The unfortunate thing about it is a lot of, whether they're owners or a lot of people that are in radio, they don't take the time to understand the technology, to really study it and learn how it could really benefit them in a bigger way than it is right now. Because I think that radio is done wrong a lot of places, but because I signed the back of the checks and not the front, some of those decisions I can't make.
So let me ask you this, Jeff, as well, because that conversation, and I know we've had that conversation before in regards to, excuse me, our contemporaries, embracing the technology. And the conversation that I've had with a radio veteran for decades was they were still concerned with day parting. And for me, I just believe that day parting since 2010 was like a thing of the past, right? And it was because we were on a social media platform in regards to, our radio station is housed on a website, so it's broadcast over the internet. And then we have other apparatuses to where people can actually get, to our radio station. So it was about embracing the technology, but also still doing great radio. And we talk about great radio, meaning the audio side of radio. But then we started incorporating the cameras, because now we can have visuals, and that's, I believe that's one thing where radio was actually slow on getting in tune to with their programming. Now you can definitely see that, and most people know of the Breakfast Club because they watch them on YouTube and things of that nature. So it was great that they embraced that. Ebro on Hot 97, they've embraced the technology. But for these smaller marketed radio stations, it's also an enhancement for them, because now they can be placed on a global platform. And when we say global, you have to think about, the economic side of that as well. You were attempting to compete in your small market, but if somebody actually finds you on the internet and they like what you're doing and how you're feeling, and they understand that they can get a new audience or reach some more people with their products and things like that, that's going to be great for your little radio station. So how has it been in your conversations with other fellow broadcasters in regards to them embracing? Have they been more so embracing now, or when you were talking about it, like, let's say 5 years ago, they weren't feeling you? They were like, nah, man, that's not me, man. I'm just going to do what I'm accustomed to doing.
I'll tell you what, and that's a great question and statement. And yeah, we've had many conversations about this. Now, the crazy thing about it is, when the webcam first got inducted in the radio, like I say 2007 is when a lot of things changed, in my opinion, as far as the digital connection, because Twitter really exploded then, and then we were just starting to get into really the webcams in the studios, right, trying to do chat rooms. So it was progressive because people enjoyed the interaction, but then they just, we just didn't know enough about it as to how it would really translate into either ratings or revenue or whatever. But fast forward now, and even still having those conversations with some of the veterans and some of those people that are like, I just don't get into the social media thing. A lot of them are on the sidelines right now, not getting into the social media thing or radio. So having that conversation. Matter of fact, I just had a session with one of my talents yesterday, where we were just trying to continue to broaden his thought process on how to approach social media in order for him to understand what's going to be the best way for him to utilize this to get the listeners back here to radio. And that's really what it's about. It's about finding that person, finding the strength, or finding their interest, and finding out how they can utilize social media, all the digital platforms, in order to get people back to radio. The good ones that you see out there, they're, especially people that are into a niche like fitness yoga or whatever, and they use the platform in order to really highlight or cooking, and they use the platform. And now it's about taking that, and now let's bring people back to the radio station and show them that now they're interested in you. Also listen to me here, and it'll create that connection.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I have to, Tonia, I have to give Jeff kudos because, like I said, I've been watching his career. And the funny thing about it, so I remember when your career started, brother. So that's,
yeah, I know.
That's how
crazy.
old I feel.
Maurice in the studio.
Yeah. I just remember that, man.
Tapes out the trunk and even going to LRD back in the day.
Oh wow!
Get my records. Yeah.
Because I remember, when I first met you and I asked you, Uzi D. I was like, what that mean? And then he was like, how he spits. It comes out like a Uzi. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. But back then, with guns and all that, I was like, I don't know, man. You might want to think about changing your name. But he kept it. He kept it, and it's still very fitting of what he does. But then also when he was doing he didn't tell you about the personality side of what he did, because in Fayetteville he was known as the commissioner. Yes, indeed. He was I'm serious. I mean, and he's also a great voiceover artist as well too. So he's just being real humble today in regards to. But you know what, Uzi? Let me say this: you fall right into the trait of what most Jamaicans are. We have to have multiple streams of income.
About 15 jobs.
Oh yeah,
definitely 15 jobs.
True ting. And Tonia, you can relate being from St. Thomas, so you understand.
Yeah, I only have 5 though. Only 5.
Oh man. So also there's another thing that you do as well too, and that's why I had on your title with the lower thirds that we had on screen. Let me pop it up real quick because it says broadcaster, entrepreneur, as well as FSU alumni, right? But the entrepreneur side, this guy, you inspire me because when you started, getting into your real estate bag, and then you started doing your thing, I was like, okay, he really has his stuff together. And I look at him as, a younger brother, but I'm really proud of his accomplishments and just to see his drive and that kind of, and we have conversations. And one thing that I would always say about our conversations, it's never a sugar-coated conversation. If he's not feeling something, he's going to tell me, well, Ray, I didn't really feel that, or blah, 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 and vice versa. So we've always had that. So I've always had that respect, for you. And I continue to carry that same respect, up until, this day. So like I said, give people their roses, man,
the
when you can.
Mutual, my brother.
Yes, for sure. I mean, and I'm so proud because he's from the yard. I'm from the yard. And we're out here doing stuff. But, we speak and people don't really understand or know that we're from the yard. If they see Uzi, they go, oh, he's a New Yorker. If they see me, they're not really going to know if you can't tell that I'm from Massachusetts. And that's why a lot of times I have to say Boston, because if I said Cambridge, they wouldn't really understand until I say Harvard or MIT. So yeah, man, I just want to let you know that I'm really proud of you, man. And I'm still and always following your story. I watch your posts, your motivational stuff that you do on your social media platform. And that's why I tell people, man, I watch people all the time. I'm always going to be a student of the game just to see what people are doing, man. And when people are doing positive things, man, it's important that we shine the light and help to uplift, these people and be happy for their successes. You can't just personalize everything and say, I want to get to the top. No, I mean, I utilize you as an example for my students because here I have 2 in the studio that have aspirations of doing this broadcasting media thing. And they need to see that there are other people out there that look like them that actually they've gone through this process that you're actually going through and they're out there doing it. When you graduated from is it the NAB?
Okay.
Yeah.
The broadcast leadership.
Yeah, I was like, I was right there with you, man. I was graduating with you. I'm like, man. Ooze, you doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling proud as opposed to being a crab in the barrel and saying, oh, daggone, you're doing something else. No, I'm happy for the success, man. And we need to do more of that. We need to empower each other, man, because we have so many people,
Absolutely.
Between the 2 of us, or let's say the 3 of us, so many people in the industry that we know. You know, and for these students that, you know, we get to work with on a daily basis, you know, it's not like you're just going to go ahead and give your resources out to them. They have to show the effort and put the time in, and to, you know, and when they do that, then you can bless them with, hey, you know what, I'm going to point you to so-and-so because this is what they're doing. And, you know, just from a reference, you never know where that's going to get you into that door, because it's not always about what you know, it's about who you know. And that's why relationship building is a very important component in this entertainment industry, you know, so.
No, for sure. And I do want to say, I mean, and even, you know, and I've told you this before, the influence that you had, and all the ones that gave me a shot, you know, you, D. Cherie, Bobby J, you know, Omega, even just noticing the talent, you know, that's been very influential. And I used to see you, you know, run into a game to go announce the game, and then you were, you know, doing brand management, and you've always had a great vision. I'm telling you, like, guys like me, Lamont, Yanni, like, we all looked up to you and looked up to how you know, presented yourself, how you presented well, and then, but your work ethic too. So, you know, just appreciate you as well too, brother. And
thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro.
And yeah, you've been well recognized, and we've all said just tremendous things about you and bigging you up, and just the influence that you had on us. So, man, thank you for your hustle and your grind and just your work ethic, and just never stopping, because you do not stop.
Hold on. My glass is fogging up. My bad.
That's real. No, serious.
The air conditioning here is getting real cool. I appreciate that, man. You know, and I'm the kind of person that I'm not really always like looking for that. And that's why we do the show the way that we do it. We want to bring people on so they can share their stories, because we feel that these stories need to be heard. People need to know what it is that you're out there doing. You're making an impact. You're making a difference. You have a genuine concern for people, you know, and it's consistent. You can go on his social media platform and see how this young man lives his life. You know, he is definitely a positive role model. You know how Charles Barkley's like, we ain't role models, blah, 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 blah. But you live your life in a role model kind of way. You are definitely a true example. You are a true representation of what a Bronco is really all about. When they say res non verba, deeds not words, he puts the action. Yeah. He puts the action into it, man. And I'm just really happy that finally, because we talked about this for a long time about you coming on and coming back.
Yeah. I got to come back again too. Yeah. And I got to send a shout to Maurice Starr too, because he allowed me to sit in on his show and really learn a lot too.
Mr. AT&T, all this and that.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely so, man. So, Tonia, I know you probably have some other questions, but you know what, Uzi? The next time we have to have you live in the studio with us, man.
I'm down.
Because interns are like, yeah. Yeah, he got to be in the studio. Yes, indeed.
No, I mean, for me, I just think it's so important that, you know, we pay it forward. And Ray, you talked about this, and I know that you're doing that in your work as well. But it really is our responsibility to pay it forward. So, you know, for Sherelle and Ebony in the studio right now, this is what you are going to be asked to do at some point in your life when others are coming to you and saying, you know, I want to learn this, I want to learn that. And you'll be able to weed out the ones who are just trying to get what I call a big pull-up versus doing the hard work. Because it is hard work. It's hard work. Particularly when we're talking about all the different changes and challenges in the media that we work in. You're constantly learning. We are constantly students of our craft, and that doesn't change no matter how long you're in the business. 25 years. I'm about to hit 31 years in broadcasting, and I'm on the television and production side, but still, it's just, you know, I'm constantly a student of the craft. So, you know, Jeff, talk a little bit about that, you know, about being the student of your craft and always kind of learning how to either reinvent yourself to the new ways of doing the work that you're doing.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Always just learning, looking, reading, everything from even FCC stuff to just researching and following people that are in the field that I'm in. Because it's just like, I remember how Kobe talked about Michael Jordan being like a big brother to him, and he kind of emulated some things that he had, but then he created his own. lane from just taking the mentorship. So, having mentors is important in this business. Having people that you know and that you count on. There's so many big brothers and big sisters that I have in this business that have really helped not only pave the way, but then just really mold me into the person who I am trying to strive through this business. And just always having somebody there that you could call and say, hey, what do you think about this? Bounce ideas off of is important. So, being a student of the game, learning everything about it, and then also building great relationships is going to be key to success, without a doubt.
Yes. And I always tell the interns and the people that work with me, be on time. When you're on time, you're late. When you're early, you're on time.
Absolutely.
They're looking at you saying, we were on time today, Miss Tonia. We were on time.
So, as women, because we have two young women here in the studio today, as women in the industry, what are some of the challenges that you see women in the radio industry now, Jeff, in terms of what you're doing? For me, it's when I was in television, every woman that I met, young woman that I met coming into the television, and she'd say, like, oh, I want to be in front of the camera. And I'm like, do you know how many jobs are behind the scenes that you can, really create your own path with? And it was always just kind of really hard getting young women to really understand the engineering, the programming, the technology, and all that kind of stuff. So speak a little bit to that about how you can inspire young women in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always been an advocate for women in the industry too, just trying to show different outlets and ways, whether it's copywriting, whether it's production, whether it's, promotions. But, I've also seen the struggle and the challenge that women have in the industry. Maybe even not taking it seriously, but being not taken seriously rather, but just the competition of how, sometimes women can be very competitive, among each other. But
we are competitive.
Yeah.
You can say the word, Jeff. You can say catty.
It's tough. And I also feel that there's also, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes we don't give those outlets for senior management positions, especially to women of color, like I think the opportunity should be. But, until we start speaking up some more and until we start presenting those opportunities and finding those that are qualified to do it, I don't know if it's going to change. I know this is like a kind of a side note, but I remember I used to always say, even it's not radio, but I would always say, I've never seen a woman of color on Shark Tank. But now that we're going to have one, it also opens up just a possibility for a lot of others to say, no, there are prominent positions and women of power that can do this and that could also present themselves well as entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial minded. But same thing in radio. We need to have more general managers. We need to have more sales managers that are women and women of color, specifically as well.
And let me just clarify, because the competition that us women feel amongst ourselves is because there's so very few positions available to us. So, it is tough. For every 5 positions, 4 are going to men and 1 is going to a woman. And then you have 10 women vying for that same position, and you are going to get some of that. So I think, yes, the answer is that, create more opportunities for women. And don't even get me started with the salary differences between men and women, but that's a whole other thing. I don't know if Ebony or Sherelle, if you guys have any questions you want to ask here. You have one of the leaders in the industry right now, and he is where you guys will be in, the next 25 years. I don't know if you have any questions that you want to ask him directly. This is your time. Don't be shy.
See, hold on.
Okay.
Prior preparation prevents poor performance. You guys don't have any radio questions.
I'll interject something, since you all didn't ask the question unless you're thinking of it or you're scared. But it also goes in the same lane of looking for positions and also the competition in positions. And it also goes with technology too. You know, one thing that we can do more, and when I say we, just people in general in the industry that are interested in the industry, when they always ask, how can I get into radio or how can I get into broadcasting? People don't realize that we have one of the most basic things in the palm of our hands that we carry every day that we don't utilize for business. And this could be the ticket to you getting what you want as long as you produce the content that people want. So instead of looking for a position, instead of waiting for a position, create content, be a content creator, and put out that content, and people will find you. They'll call you, and then you'll be able to say, you called me. I'll tell you how much you're going to pay me, you know. But utilize the tools that you have at your hand to create positions that you may not see right now, but will be in demand for whatever the field is that you're looking to pursue. So that's just something that, you know, a lot of people don't really take into account.
That's really great advice. But I also want you to speak to the importance of being responsible content creators, because anyone can go out there and throw something out there without doing their homework, without having the facts, without really understanding that what they're putting out there could potentially cause harm. So talk about a little bit about the responsibility that comes with being a content creator.
Yeah, being a content creator for me goes back to journalism back in the day. Back in the day, journalism, you had to put work and effort into it. You know, these days people think that almost with the pun that you had of throwing things out there, especially as a female, is going to just get you views, and then that's the way to create content. You know, a journalist studies, a journalist, they research, and they put thought behind what they're going to do. And when you're looking to create content and you look at an interest that you have, or you're trying to, you know, present something to people that's going to, you know, stick, I say that you have to take the same time and care to do the same thing instead of just following what you think is a trend, putting it out there because it's going to get you attention really fast. You know, we need more intellectual content. We need more content that's going to grow our community, that's going to allow people to think a little bit more. And I feel that there's a large gap in that will be noticed if people are consistent. Consistency is the key, and thoughtful about what they put out there. So, you know, it's the world is your canvas, and there's content that you will create that will be the game changer if you put some thought behind it. You take your time and you really, you know, stay consistent and put the effort behind it.
Yeah, he just told y'all to become Picassos. So paint, y'all, paint. Go ahead, paint. Stroke. I'm stroking. Clarence Carter says, well, it's a different kind of stroke. But
you know, it's so true because, you know, unlike earlier, 25 years ago, even before that, I'm gonna date myself and go back, you know, almost 40 years ago. You know, you had to literally listen for at least an hour before a song to get played again. Right now, everything is instantaneous. And what happens with that is that once you put something out there, you can't get it back.
Right.
It's not, you know, it's not live TV. It's not live radio anymore. And even on live TV, if you guys have any of the huge cable conglomerates, you can rewind live TV. You can't get it back anymore. So being responsible content creators, just as what Jeff spoke to about, you know, understanding the journalism, the who, what, when, why, where's, and doing fact checking and source checking and those types of things is crucial. But it's also really just good training as a person who can be very, very just evolved with their thinking and what they're putting out there. You know, Ray makes fun of me and all the kind of work and research that goes into the Power News segment of the show. But, you know, it's that comes after decades of just being trained to really understand that I have a responsibility, that when folks tune in every Wednesday on the Power News and they hear some of the news stories that we present, that the facts are correct, that we know what we're talking about, that we've done the research, that we've checked some sources, and that's when we decide to present it to you. So I'm just really appreciative for that bit of advice. what is your one piece of advice that you can give to an up-and-coming broadcaster, whether it's in front of the mic, behind the scenes? What is a piece of advice that you could give to some of our aspiring broadcasters?
Be able to adapt to change and accept it. That's, you have to, and the industry has changed so fast. The industry has become a digital platform, like I said, that happens to have broadcast stations, that you have to study, learn, and be able to adapt to change. Like it goes beyond just watching influencers. It's really about learning how algorithms work. It's about learning how analytics work. It's about learning how, how to buy Facebook ads and how to place ads. So there's so much intellectual content that you have to be committed to learning, and you have to be okay that change is going to come, despite whatever it is that you feel is going to happen. So, be a sponge, learn everything you can, and if you want it, work for it. Don't expect a handout.
Oh yeah, well said, brother.
There it is.
Put your hand back, Sherelle. Put your hand back. Girl, put your hand back. Oh, man. Great talk today. And like I said, we definitely have to get you back on the program, man. See how fast the segment goes, man? You wait around, we're in here doing the setup, but then once you get on the show and things just start flowing, you start sharing that information, and then people, they're like, oh, man. Give me more nuggets, because you've just been blessing people with some great information today, man. And that's what the show is all about. What is that dance, Tonia? What are you doing?
I'm dropping nuggets.
Oh, okay. Those some big nuggets. It's like it's gold in them hills.
There were some big nuggets.
I was like, man. No, but like I said, and I know I've said this already, but I'm just so proud of you, Ooze. I call him Ooze or Uzi D or Jeff. Jeff is government. But I'm really proud of you, man. And just to hear the words coming after your mouth, anybody that attends Fayetteville State University that sees this young man should be proud of the Bronco, how he represents. And he's been doing this for quite some time. I mean, you revitalized the radio station in Richmond, Virginia, where you totally went through a whole rebranding process, and that's what I call a programmer. As long as you're allowed to utilize your skill sets that you have, right? So it's always great to have employers that, allow you to do what you do. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've worked for quite a few employers that just wanted to go under their own understanding, as opposed to they hire you to run a brand, but then they won't allow you to brand that brand the way that you know how that's best going to represent, that entity. So, and let me say this before we go, because Jeff was really instrumental in me actually coming back to Fayetteville at one point. I was working at WRAL, and I was working part-time at WUKS, which is here in Fayetteville. And at the time, Jeff was the program director over both stations, Foxy 99 as well as 107.7. And we were having conversations. He was like, yeah, man, I'm just looking for somebody to come in and be able to, take over KISS and lead them in the right direction. And just from that relationship, he was one of the main reasons why I actually came back to Fayetteville, that I was even here, because realistically, if I was going to do another move, then it was probably going to be out of North Carolina. I was going to do something else. But it was because of him that I actually stayed. And so that opportunity to program 107.7 came through our relationship and him believing, in me. Did the process work out for a long period of time? No, it didn't. But I believe that what I did for that short period of time made an impact, because, and Jeff knows this about me, is that I'm always going to stick to my guns. And I'm an old school programmer, but I believe in new school technology. You see what I'm saying? So you have to converge both. You still want to have that foundation. You remember this, Miss Anderson, as we were talking about yesterday about foundation. You can't just go into anything and not have a foundation. Everybody sees all the lofty things, but there's a method to the madness. So in order to get there, you have to have a starting point. And starting point means having strong fundamentals, strong foundation, strong skill sets, and then you grow from that. So it was a great experience. I got to touch some lives. and to hopefully reshape some thinking in regards to people. And I think more so it was, and Jeff, let me say this. I believe for me that experience was about empowering people. That's what that opportunity gave me. And I never looked back at the experience as being a bad experience. I wasn't there for a long period of time, but I was there long enough to be able to drop some juice on my people.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, because you have big vision, and sometimes not everybody is ready for big vision.
Right.
And especially when you're a future, you look into the future and you're saying, okay, this is what it can be. Not everybody's ready to scoop that fast. Sometimes.
Right.
But the vision and the intent has always been from a fantastic place.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful.
Oh yeah, so being here at Fayetteville State University, we're in academia, and academia can be slow, really slow at times, because it's kind of antiquated in the thought process. But they gave me an opportunity here to actually, build something from scratch. So that's what I said. If I never came back, if Jeff didn't give me that opportunity to come back to Fayetteville, I would have been somewhere else, and then we wouldn't be sitting here potentially having this conversation. So I say all that to say thank you, brother. See?
Hey.
See the impact? I mean,
you are welcome.
Because he could have given it to anybody else that he wanted to. He had enough clout, in Beasley Broadcasting, where if he was going to refer somebody, they were definitely going to listen to him. And he took a chance, on Big Brother, even though he knows that. I guess I can call myself kind of a rebel. I'm not really a rebel, but it's the yacht in me. But he took a chance.
People that watch wrestling back in the day, you're like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, all right, that's well played.
Yeah,
well played. I'll take that. Kudo ding. There you go. But yeah, just thanks for the opportunity, man, and thanks for allowing me to remain here. In North Carolina for the time. I always tell people, they're like, how long are you going to be at Fayetteville State? I'm like, well, my steps are ordered. So when the Lord feels it's the right time for me to go on to the next thing, then that will happen. But for right now, I take it one day at a time, man. And so when we can have these kind of conversations and hopefully help to encourage our future of our industry, broadcasting, whether it's radio, television, film, social media, it's important for us to be able to pour back into what is going to be the future of this industry. So yeah, thank you for that, brother. I just wanted to put that out there. I told you I'm giving you all your roses, giving you all your roses today, man. It's like, I don't even like roses. I like tulips.
No, it's all good. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Oh man,
I definitely do.
So if there's any words of advice that you could give the up and coming future broadcasters, what would that advice be?
I gave that advice, but you know what? What I would say.
I was going to say, I asked him that already.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Me ding myself for not. So you.
But I'll just reiterate, to be consistent, learn everything you can, and be comfortable that change is going to happen with or without you.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you have passion for it, pursue it. Mm-hmm. But then also don't forget that we have all this technology that's in front of us that you can create your opportunity instead of waiting for one.
Amen. Hold on, wait. Absolutely. Amen for that. Yeah. Miss Anderson's like, oh yeah, yeah. She's a creator. Yeah, she's definitely a creator. You Andersons.
Yeah.
So
we were created, so that means we are creative.
Oh yeah.
We were in his image.
Definitely so. All right. Good stuff, and great questions, interns.
I actually do have a question.
Oh, now you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I thought about it.
And so we never lead with I have a question. Okay. You already know that you're going to ask it. That's two dings. Yes. 10 cents on your watch today, by the way.
This is the intern, Sherelle Anderson, and I have a question.
Again? 15 cents.
Okay. So I want to know, can you be too passionate? Like, can you just be over enthusiastic? Because, that's where your vision comes in, right? This
is the test. So go ahead and answer for her, Jeff.
Can you can't be too passionate. It just depends on where you are in life. Because again, I always look at the Kobe's, the Michael Jordans of the world, the LeBron James, Tom Brady's. Because I'm a sports buff, and they're almost on the point of obsessed with what they do. So the passion and the obsession is just the urge and a will to win. So it depends on how your family makeup is, how that works out for you or not. You just have to, if you're solo right now, then you can be as passionate as you want. If you have other people that you're responsible for, then you have to learn how to balance it as much as you can. But
what was that word?
Yeah.
What was that word?
Balance.
Balance. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the reiteration, I knew it was going to come in there somewhere because that she was looking for this. Because we had this conversation yesterday. She's very passionate. But sometimes passion needs to pump their brakes and slow it down a little bit. Because we can be over passionate, right? And just like even in my walk, because I've been at that place where I was over passionate. You know, sometimes you have to, it's like they say, every battle's not made to be fought. You have to pick and choose your battles, right?
Oh, yeah. You got to pick and choose your battles big time, especially in the industry.
Yeah. You want to live to fight another
big
day.
Time.
You know, so sometimes just turn that spigot off, which is the mouthpiece, and just eat some humble pie and just say,
and
okay.
Here's something to go with that, too, Ray, is like, this is what I always tell people now in the industry, especially veterans, is that don't get emotionally attached to something that you can't control anyway.
Exactly.
That's right.
And learn how to emotionally separate yourself from situations that you can't change.
Nice.
That's why I said change is going to happen with it, without you. But yeah, in the industry, and that's a great point that you bring up. Like, I promise you, God is my witness, I've learned how to emotionally detach myself to things that I cannot control. And that's how I pretty much make it, because I'm passionate, but I know that I could only control the controllable. So, you know, you emotionally detach yourself from the things you can't control, and you'll be fine. Your passion's still going to be there, but then you learn how to channel that passion into something else that you have, you know, more control over, if you want to call it that, or that you can, you know, pump your energy into. So,
yeah, well said, man. Did that work for you?
Yep.
Yes.
I told you you're going to learn today. You're going to learn today, girl. Go ahead. You dropping those nuggets again, Tonia? Dropping from the sky, because nuggets are being dropped. And that's what this whole show experience is supposed to be about, especially for our interns. You know, we don't want to be in here preaching to you. That's not what this process is all about. But we're going to do great radio, but at the same time, you're going to learn at the same time. And then you're going to get to ask all the questions, and you actually get to have those questions answered in a live, true radio setting. So we're having the classroom, but we're still doing radio. Because not only are you being blessed with the information, but there are our global audience that's tuning in as well, too, that's being blessed by this information as well. You know, so yeah, you're going to learn today. Whew. It's getting hot in here. All right, so we definitely have to have you back on the program, but next time live, up close and personal. You know, we have to work something out with you and one of your best friends, Afion Crockett, another FSU alum, because you guys were like Batman and Robin. You know, you guys were hosting
Absolutely.
Homecoming.
My dorm mate.
Yeah, you guys were hosting Homecoming, and you know, you guys had a thing going on. But then Jeff was like, "Well, I got some other things going on. I gotta leave." You know, but you know, Homecoming time is time to come home. I'm saying.
Yeah, yep. It ain't like it used to be, but yeah.
Well, just know you have a place here at Bronco Eye Radio, man. Whenever you want to come on and do, even if it's hosting your own show on the platform, you're an alum. I always love to give alumni opportunity to come back and experience there, because this is the student radio station, you know, and you're part of that legacy. You know, you guys started it when you guys were over there interning at WFSS, you know, so yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Watt Sanders.
Oh yeah, Hiawatha Sanders. Yes, indeed. Definitely, man. And I know PR is listening. Ricardo Morgan, I call him Public Radio.
Yeah.
Because when he came to intern at Foxy, he interned with me, and he was straight up Public Radio.
Yeah.
He was just over enunciating Fayetteville. I was like, wow, what pageant are you coming from? But that's my guy right there. But yeah, definitely, man. So thank you for being with us today, Tonia.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait for you to come back, even if it's before you become the radio station owner or soon after. We love to have you back.
Yeah, and then
love to come back. Thank you.
And I want her to book you for her. She has a podcast show that she's not plugging right now, but she's about to plug it. And definitely, I know she's booked up until when is it? November already?
November. Yeah.
But you can save a spot for my guy Jeff Uzi D. Anderson.
I will definitely set aside a spot for that.
Yeah.
Boy, I got a little tongue-tied. I think my cold medicine is starting to wear off.
Uh-oh. Getting woozy? Okay. Stay in the good light, Tonia. Stay in the good light.
Goodness. Okay, stay in the good light,
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Jeff Uzi D. Anderson. Also, shout out your radio stations as well, too, because we didn't really, talk about the stations that you're currently managing.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Urban One Charlotte. We have Praise 100.9. We got 92.7 The Block, and we've got 105.3 R&B. Those are the ones that I'm responsible for in the building.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, shout out.
Yeah, he's up there in the Queen City, so if you're ever in Charlotte, make sure you tune into those radio stations. And if you are a matriculating student here at Fayetteville State University and you're looking to get into the broadcasting industry, now you just got to connect. But just because you know him, you still have to do the work, though. All right? So there's a difference. Right. People always think just because you went to FSU, okay, I'm going to hook you. It's not about the hookup. It's if you're ready for the opportunity and if you feel what they're looking for. So keep that in mind as well, too. But now you guys have a more immediate connection because you're actually on the program with Jeff Uzi D. Anderson. So now you guys can say, well, yeah, I know Jeff Uzi D. Anderson. You have a connect in Charlotte. I'm just saying. Network.
There you go.
Hopefully after the show, you will shoot him an email, drop him just to, make that connection. Tonya, did you drop that nugget? Because I just gave him a nugget, and I don't even know if it went over their heads. And phew. Okay.
That was like a big one. That was a two-handed nugget. Phew.
That was the big A bell. Yes, indeed. All right, so segment number 2 is coming up right around the corner. We have a special guest. I've known this gentleman for a long period of time. We're not actually going to talk about his prowess in the NBA. We're going to talk about some other stuff because he is a practicing physician, and he had an incident that happened in Missouri that we're going to talk all about. And it was almost George Floyd revisited. So we'll cover that when segment number 2 continues. Once again, thank you, Jeff Uzi D. Anderson, my brethren. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right, we'll be right back with more of the RTVS Live. So don't you go anywhere. Stay where you are.
More of the RayThomas Variety Show is coming up.
Is this on? I think it's on.
Operator. BroncoIRadio.com, where every second of the day an artist is live. Tune in to the Bottom Line Talk Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 4 to 5 p.m.
The Bottom Line.
Where we talk about anything from social issues to sports, music to culture, and more.
The Bottom Line.
Drop a comment or concern and we'll talk about it live. Keeping the Bronco community in the know and informed.
The Bottom Line.
It's your concerns, our beliefs, you need it, we got it. All on the Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line.
Only on BroncoIRadio.com.
We're proud of you.
Hey, what's up, Global Peeps? It's me, the heavyweight RayThomas, host of the RayThomas Variety Show, live, rocking my Beantown fitted.
It's now airing on BroncoIRadio.com. Tune in each Saturday at 5 p.m. to listen to a new episode of The Power Play.
The Power Play.
We have interesting guests, exciting topics, and we always want to hear from you. Send us your comments at comments@thepowerplayshow.com or simply go to our website, thepowerplayshow.com.
The Power Play.
So tune in each Thursday right here on thepowerplayshow.com and each Saturday at 5 p.m. on BroncoIRadio.com. We may not get all the answers, but we will ask all the questions because on the Power Play, that's what we do.
BroncoIRadio.com, always keeping you in the know and informed.
In the know and informed.
COVID-19 is an illness caused by a virus that can spread from person to person. The virus that causes COVID-19 is a new coronavirus that has spread throughout the world. COVID-19 symptoms can range from mild or no symptoms to severe illness. You can become infected by coming within 6 feet or 2 arm lengths with the person that has COVID-19. Protect yourself and others from COVID-19. Stay at home as much as possible and avoid close contact with others. Wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth in public settings. And please make sure to clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces. North Carolina is doing its part to make sure they are staying ahead of the curve. Under Executive Order 163, North Carolina is under a safer at home phase 2.5 of lifting COVID-19 restrictions. Under this phase, people are also required, with some exceptions, to wear face coverings while out in public when physical distancing of 6 feet is not possible. For more information, visit cdc.gov. Do your part in slowing the spread of COVID-19.
In the Know and Informed is a public service of BroncoIRadio.com, student radio at Fayetteville State University. We're proud to be.
BroncoIRadio.com, where every second of the day an artist is live. They say it's a time and place for everything. Where stress and everyday challenges of real life doesn't care.
Now's the right time, and Wreck and Release LLC is the place to be. Come free your inner beast at North Carolina's first and only Rage Room, 1201A Murchison Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Open Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 7 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 12 to 8 p.m. Book your experience at 910-920-3181. That's 910-920-3181. It's the little things that excite us. Wreck and Release LLC.
Come free your inner beast.
Now, back to the RayThomas Variety Show.
He's on time. Yeah. God's gonna see you through. Yeah. God's gonna see you through. Yeah. Crying about tomorrow. I just need a brand new day. All my problems getting me down, and the monthly bills just won't wait. So I pray for the answer, and to keep my mind always stayed on you. Cause even through the fire, God, I know that you will pull me through. God said, go ahead, you can make it. I'm gonna see you through. I'm gonna see you through. Yeah. Keep your head up, you can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Go ahead on, you can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Go ahead on, you can take it. I'm gonna see you through. No longer could I be afraid. I had to step out and depend on faith. He told me to give back what he gave to me. So I opened up my mind, gave God my heart, and made a brand new start. And I sang from my soul, and his promise kept me holding on. Go ahead, you can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Yeah. Keep your head up, you can make it. I'm gonna see you through. Keep your head up. Go ahead on, you can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Yeah. Go ahead on, you can take it. I'm gonna see you through. Holla if you hear me. Yeah. Listen if you feel me. Yeah. Holla if you hear me. Holla if you hear me. Listen if you feel me. Holla if you hear me. Yeah. Rhythm if you feel me. Holla if you hear me. Yeah. If you feel me. Go ahead. You can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Yeah. Keep your head up. You can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Go ahead on. You can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Go ahead on. You can take it. I'm gonna see you through. Don't let problems get your way. You can make it. I'm gonna see you through. God will turn your darkness into day. I'm gonna see you through. Don't you give up. Go ahead on. You can make it. I'm gonna see you through. No, because my God has got your back. You can take it. I'm gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. He got you. He got you. God's gonna see you through. God's gonna see you through. Don't give up and don't give in. Cause you can win. Cause your God is on your side and he won't let you die. Oh.
Would you like to be a guest on the RayThomas Variety Show? Email gm@broncoiradio.com with your information, because you know RayThomas knows people and people know RayThomas.
You give me, 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 'cause you give me. Let's dance in the moonlight, let's kiss at the sunrise, enjoying each other's time, feeding our appetite, yeah, gazing each other's eyes, high as a Georgia pie, 'cause we high off each other's vibes, and it's cool 'cause it feels so right, yeah. You give me rhythm and blues, piano and bass, it's got a groove, guitar he plays, it makes me move, 'cause you give me, 'cause you give me, you give me rhythm and blues, piano and bass, it's got a groove, guitar he plays, it makes me move, 'cause you give me, 'cause you can't start daydreaming. You're making me feel like we live with the spotlight. It's just me and you on this planet, and it's cool 'cause it feels so right. Yeah. You give me rhythm and blues, piano and bass. It's got a groove, guitar he plays. It makes me move, 'cause you give me, 'cause you give me, you give me rhythm and blues, piano and bass. It's got a groove, guitar he plays. It makes me move, 'cause you give me, 'cause you give me. It's just me and you on this planet, and it's cool, and it's cool, and it's cool, and it's cool. It makes me move. It makes me move. It makes me move. You give me, you give me, you give me, you give me rhythm and blues.
It's the Bronco Radio. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. 'Cause we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 to the morning. Playing all the hits, easy to listen to. Live and direct from FSU. Homie, we on. Shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 to the morning. Welcome to a new era of the radio. So go ahead and cool out to the sounds of your favorite show. Attitude check, Bronco pride. Turn on your computer and just vibe. And you know how we do, run by the students, so it's all about you. And send your requests, we will get them all for you, that's a bet. And keep you in the know, the information given throughout the show. Take time to listen. Tell your friends. If they don't believe it, let them know again. Yeah. Catch the sensation. Turn to the new #1 station. Yeah. Go to your computer and you hear a great show. 'Cause we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 to the morning. Playing all the hits, easy to listen to. Live and direct from FSU. Homie, we on. Shorty, we on. Listen in the afternoon, 9 to the morning.
It's Wednesday afternoon.
Beat that beat up. Beat that beat up.
RayThomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous RayThomas Variety Show. RayThomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous RayThomas Variety Show.
If you've been listening to the same old hand-me-down lame-old radio show, check my man Ray Flow. There you go. Parkers for this, Bronx up in this, North Cac, South Cac, where you at? It don't matter. Matter of fact, all states, cities, towns, and districts is talking about RayThomas. He up on their lips like lipsticks. Lipsticks are clueless. How we do this smoothly? How we walk you through this queue? If you asking who this 2468, who do we appreciate? R-A-Y on your R-A-D-I. Oh, yo, it's the RayThomas Variety Show.
RayThomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous RayThomas Variety Show. RayThomas on your radio. Yo, the world famous RayThomas Variety Show.
And we say good afternoon to you. Welcome to segment number 2 of the program. It's the RTVS Live, the RayThomas Variety Show Live. And, yeah. Why are you guys still talking? Don't you guys hear me talking over here? Y'all having your own little conversation in their own world. And that's why I didn't turn on their microphones, because I knew that there would be some shenanigans going on in here when you have multiple people, Tonia. You see how they do? Just talking.
I see.
See.
Just talking.
Yeah, our guest was attempting to share the live feed, the live stream from my page. So the intern, Ebony, was attempting to show him, but they were having conversation as I turned off, killed the music and said Bronco I Radio, and you didn't hear me, so that means So that's a ding for you. Yes, indeed. That's a ding for our guests as well, too. Yes, guests get dings on this program as well, too. Let me go ahead and turn on y'all's microphones so people actually know that y'all are here. So it's segment number 2, hour number 2. Thanks for coming along for the ride, Global Peeps. We appreciate you. And you know what I didn't do last time, Tonia? I didn't even look in the comments to see who was watching us.
I was